we got a special install. I picked up a carbon fiber windscreen from Vivid Racing. Shout out Vivid Racing, they got this pretty quickly. It did take a couple weeks, but this is an Illenberg carbon fiber windshield. It also came with the mounting bracket, and it came with the bolts to mount it as well, and some instructions. It seems pretty straightforward. We're just gonna mount it to the front of here. We'll compare it to the old windscreen. So this is the old windscreen that I got that came with the bike. I think this is this looks like pink or whatever, but this is the windscreen that came with the bike. I didn't like it. I'll throw up some pictures of what it looks like on the bike. It was a little bit too floppy, literally mounted directly to the back of the display. So once wind started hitting it, it just flapped around like this, and not very good. It looks a little tacky. You can see here that this one is significantly smaller. This one probably blocks more airflow, but then again, once you get on the highway, it's just flapping around in the wind. So not good. This is going to mount directly behind the headlight. So I'll show you how it mounts. With this nice bracket, it's gonna mount directly behind the headlight. So it's not going to flap around in the wind. It should be more sturdy, and it should offer just a tiny bit of wind protection, which is what I'm looking for. Not too much, but just enough to keep some of the wind off of me and make the ride more pleasant, at least on the highways. So let's get some beauty shots of these two, and then we'll get into the install.
Yeah. Trendsetter, Ben Frank, getter. With whatever. I buy diamonds when.
All right, so let's get started. So from what I understand, according to the instructions that Illenberg provides, it seems like we're going to be using their mounting bracket that they provided, and we're basically going to be removing the bolts that are at the back of the headlight on either side. So it seems like we remove those bolts, and at the top of the headlight, there should be a grommet on both sides here and here, that this just pops forward. We're going to transfer the grommet to the new bracket, as shown here, kind of, I'm guessing. And then once the bracket's in place and the headlight's back in place, then we bolt the carbon piece to the bracket. It seems straightforward. If you want to take a little mental note of what we're going to be doing, here you go. Let's figure this out. Ooh, it's a tight fit. Get my hands in there. Work smarter, not harder. Yeah, look at that, 10 millimeter. One little 10 millimeter bolt. This electrical connection back there, I'm just gonna leave it dangling. I'm not gonna worry about it. On the other side, there should be a similar bolt. All right, we got both the bolts out, set them to the side. Now we should be able to gently, probably lift up. There we go. This side too, lift up. Look at that, headlight came right out. I don't feel like removing the bracket, so what I'm gonna do is just slide over this stool. Oh, it's a little too low. You know what, headlight, you're going to dangle. I don't feel like removing you. Like that, she's gonna dangle. All right, there we go. Now that we got the headlight just dangling right here, the next step is going to be these grommets right here. It seems like from the instructions that these grommets are going to go on the new included bracket. So we're going to push these out of here and transfer them over to the new bracket is what it seems like. But let me just double check on that. So pretty much up under here are some Torx bits. These are the original screws right here and right here. They're a little hard to see. They're right there and right there. We're going to reach up in there and remove those. I'm going to guess that it's a T30, and we'll see if I'm wrong. We could slip it on out like so. All right, this bracket back here hooks on. So pretty much here's the new carbon bracket. We're just going to match it up with this one and put it on the same way. So basically, it's just gonna sit the same way. So first things first, seems like it's gonna sit like so, because this would be the correct way that it sits, or at least this one was sitting. Hard to tell, but There we go. We're gonna move these rubber washer things over to the carbon piece here and here. Let's do that now. There we go, that's 2. So now we got the washers in place. Now we're going to line this up in here. This is gonna be a little tricky. There we go. Let me get an extension. This is a little tedious, but now that they're in place, all that's left to do is to tighten them up. Finally, okay, it seems like I got it in place decently. Bracket's nice and secure, doesn't seem like it's going nowhere. Now I'm going to pop this headlight back in place. So that way I can stop letting it dangle. Ooh, there's a tight fit too. There we go. Whew. You didn't give it a push. It sits flush. Like it's in there. Like I don't think that's not going anywhere. There we go. Now that the headlight is secure, all right, now that I got the headlight nice and secure, we can work on attaching the carbon piece finally to this bracket using the provided screws. So let's go ahead and get that attached and we'll see how it looks. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and line this up. All right, so you can kind of see what I'm seeing. This little these little screws all the way down inside of there. It's a hard reach. With a little finesse, you can kind of get your hand in there. That is all that matters. There we go. All right, let's also turn the screen on to make sure everything works good. We didn't mess with all the wiring. There we go, looks good. Doesn't seem like we have any issues. There we go. Seems like we're good to go. Everything is in place. It seems like it has a little bit of flex. It is on a bushing. So I guess that way, if it does need to move around, it can move around. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. It gives it a nice surround for the display. Doesn't look bad. It looks pretty good. It covers it nicely, but not too much. We'll see if it actually blocks any airflow. I'll probably give that, I'll give you an updated review on how this does after I ride it on the highway. Currently it's rainy and cold as hell in Texas, so once we get some good weather, then I'll take the bike out and see if this actually helps on the highway. My thoughts are that it's going to do something, but will it do as much as the previous one? Who knows? Because compared to the previous one went a lot further. But you can see the previous one would have stuck up pretty far. This one was pretty big compared to this one, so we have old versus new. I'm a big fan of this new one. I'm happy with it. Let's get some beauty shots of it and see what it looks like. So looking at this, I think this is pretty damn sexy. It looks pretty good. Because compared to this one doesn't look bad, but the problem that I had with this one was that it is a little tall, but I think if I would have kept this one, it would have blocked a good amount of wind. But to me, it looks a little goofy because when you're riding, all it does is just flap around. It just flaps around the wind. This should be a little bit more sturdy and actually it looks pretty good. And also matches the front fender, so I'm happy with that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy the video. More content coming soon, more mods, more riding videos. Stay tuned.